Hello, welcome to another video. My name is Jenny and welcome to my April TBR. Okay, so April. Usually in April I take part in Magical Readathon, but I've decided that I'm not going to this year. The main reason being that for the last couple of years I found it's got a little bit too much, and I've just found it stressful to try and keep up with everything in Magical Readathon. And then I'm also struggling to kind of balance everything else that I'm reading, and I've just found it be a bit much. So I've decided I'm not going to do Magical Readathon this year, which makes me very sad. I've been taking part in Magical Readathon every single year since I believe 2019, possibly 18. I think I missed the very first year of the first iteration, but other than that I have been doing Magical Readathon every single year. So it does make me really sad to kind of drop it, but I think I need to do what's right for me. I also had the quite stupid idea to do what I believe it's Jade and Steph tend to do this most Aprils, which is 30 books in 30 days. I'm not doing that either. I changed my mind again. Basically, I halfway through March I started getting a little bit slumpy, and I thought, you know what, forcing myself to read a book a day in April is not going to be the cure for a book slump. So we're not doing that. So today my TBR is going to be using the Illumicrate reading prompt cards. I'm using this deck because they're quite fun, really. That's it. So I'm not prepared. I'm going to go and grab a couple of books that I need to get on my TBR this month, and then we'll come back and we'll find some prompts. Okay, so there are 3 books that I have to read this month. Other than that, we're all breezy. I'm going to do 5 pulls with my cards. I'm not giving myself any punishments because last month I didn't technically have a TBR. I was doing semi-mood read March. So therefore, even though I didn't read everything that I planned to read, it doesn't matter. I wasn't planning on reading it really, sort of, kind of. But we're going to just pick 5 cards. I'm just going to go with the one on the top, which is this one. A book set in a country that is not your own. I don't feel like I can use fantasy for this. I feel it has to be a real country. So I think I'm going to go to my self-destruct pile. BRB. So for books set in a country that's not my own, I've got 5 books here that are on my self-destruct pile. 3 of them are set in the States. The other 2 are not. So we've got One Last Stop by Casey McCriston. I'm intrigued by this one, but also I didn't love Red, White and Royal Blue, so I'm not sure that I massively want to get to this one. We've got In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. Again, intrigued. I do hear good things about this one. This one is more likely. Breaking by Amanda Cassidy. This one gives me Madeleine McCann vibes. So it's set in Florida, and a child goes missing and the parents are blamed. This one really intrigues me. We've then got The Hike by Lucy Clark. This one is set in Norway. I read another book by Lucy Clark, Castaway, I think it was, which I really enjoyed. So this one, intriguing. And then I've got The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This one is set in a fantasy world, but it is set in Russia, I think. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to say no to In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. I think it's between these 2. I think I'm putting on The Hike. I think it's going to be The Hike this time. It just sounds intriguing. So The Hike by Lucy Clark. Let's just read the synopsis. The perfect day for a hike. Seeking the escape of a lifetime, 4 friends hike out into the beautiful Norwegian wild. Nothing between them and the mountain peak but forest, sea and the sharp blue sky. The perfect place to disappear. But there's a darker side to the wilderness, and woman went missing here 1 year ago. Now the friends are hiking into the heart of a mystery, and waiting on the trail is someone who'd do anything to keep their secrets buried. It sounds really good. I am excited. Let's put that in here. I do hate this cover though, with this silly flappy bit. I don't like them. They offend me. Right, pull number 2. We're going with this one. A book by an author of colour. The 3 books that I have to read are not helpful there. Bear with, I'm going to spin around and have a look. I'm probably going to head to my romance shelves for this because I like romance. So I'm going with Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I picked up this one and the second book in the series, which is This Could Be Us. Smooth transition there. So I picked up this one and the second book in the series, which is This Could Be Us, last month, I think, beginning of February, when I went to 66 books. And this sounds fantastic. So before I let go, again, I'm just going to read out the synopsis. Their love was supposed to last forever, but when life delivered blow after devastating blow, Yasmin and Josiah found that love had its limits. It couldn't save their marriage. Yasmin wasn't prepared for how her life fell apart, but she finally started to find joy again. She and Josiah have found a new rhythm, co-parenting their 2 kids and running a thriving business together. Yet, like magnets, they're always drawn back to each other, and now they're beginning to wonder if they're truly ready to let go of everything they once had. One stolen kiss leads to another, and then more. It's hot, it's illicit, it's good, until it starts to hurt again. As old wounds reopen, Yasmin and Josiah wonder if it is too late for them to find forever. Could it be even better the second time around? I am not actually sure that I've read a second chance romance that's... Actually, yes, I have, because Happy Place by Emily Henry is a second chance romance with like a married couple or a previously married couple, and I enjoyed that one. So yeah, I'm excited to get to Before I Let You Go. Pull number 3. We're going with this one. Oh no, your newest Illumicrate book. Okay. Oh no. Okay. Oh no. Right. Bear with. So I've skipped Illumicrate for the last couple of months. I've skipped February and March's books, which means that my newest Illumicrate book was January's, which is Watermoon, which I don't know how I feel about this one. I was really excited by this one before it came out, but since it's come out and I've heard more people talk about it and more reviews, the less excited I am. So I think this one is going to just be a definite in book box battle then. So rather than doing like a stick or twist on a second book, it will just be Watermoon will be the stand-in second book. Let's read the synopsis. On a back street in Tokyo lies a pawn shop. Not everyone can find it. Most will see only a cosy ramen restaurant, and just the chosen ones, those who are lost, will find a place to pawn their life's choices and deepest regrets. Hana Ishikawa wakes on her first morning as the pawn shop's new owner to find it ransacked, the shop's most precious acquisition stolen, and her father missing. And then into the shop stumbles a charming stranger, quite unlike other customers, for he offers help instead of seeking it. Together they must journey through a mystical world to find Hannah's father and the stolen choice, through rain puddles, hitch and rides on paper cranes, across the bridge between midnight and morning, and through a night market in the clouds. But as they get closer to the truth, Hannah must reveal a secret of her own and risk making a choice she will never be able to take back. I'll be honest, that third paragraph about hitch and rides on paper cranes and across the bridge between midnight and morning, that makes me nervous because that sounds like the very kind of flowery sort of writing that I don't enjoy. But book 3 on the TBR. I'm not doing so good with getting the books that I have to read on this month. Right, next one, let's go. We'll go with this one. A book set in summer. I'm going to go back to the romance shelves. Okay, I don't know anything about this book. I'm going to go with Love Game by Emma Ray. This is a tennis romance. I don't really know anything about tennis, other than you play it in the summer. So, Elle Calloway has just landed her dream role, personal chef to huge tennis star Nikki Salko. The pressure is on, and not just in the kitchen. As Nikki prepares for Wimbledon, which I know does happen in the summer, I think, Elle treads carefully around his judgmental fiancé while trying to ignore her own boyfriend's cheating. But as the temperature rises when Nikki's training increases his appetite and Elle is the one tasked with keeping his belly full, despite being worlds apart, their late-night rendezvous leads to more than they intended. Should they risk the lives they have already built for the lives they truly want? A sizzling, forced proximity sport and romance that fans of Hannah Grace and Ali Hazelwood will fall heads over heel for. I like Hannah Grace and Ali Hazelwood. Let's see. Last book, last card. Well, not last book, because there's 3 other books that I have to get on that I haven't got on. This one, which says, a book you've been wanting to reread. Well, I love that prompt. But none of the books that I need to read this month are rereads. Okay, well, let me go and look. I know exactly what one. Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I have been wanting to reread this. I don't really know why. I've been watching Bridgerton recently, and that's kind of got me back into that sort of Regency period. I kind of want to read the next Bridgerton book, which is Benedict's story, but I also am nervous. I've read Pride and Prejudice. I've read Pride and Prejudice multiple times, to be honest. I'm fairly certain I studied it at uni. I've definitely read it a couple of times since then. This edition is stunning. I want to reread it. I can't give you a synopsis because this one doesn't have a synopsis on it, but we probably all know what Pride and Prejudice is about. So that is my initial, let's put you and Watermoon down at the bottom because you're big. So this is my initial TBR. We've got Before I Let You Go by Kennedy Ryan, The Hike by Lucy Clark, Love Game by Emma Ray, Watermoon by Samantha Soto Yambo, and Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I'm quite excited by this, actually, because a book off my self-destruct list, a classic. One of my goals this year has been to read more classics. A couple of romances that aren't my usual kind of style romance, and a book box book. And again, I need to be getting to my book box books anyway. But the 3 other books that I need to read this month. We've got Ruin by John Gwynne. This is book 3 in the Faithful and the Fallen series. I was supposed to read this in March. I did not. She is a chunky boy. Fool's Errand by Robin Hobb. This one is book 1 in the Tawny Man trilogy, which is the 3rd trilogy within the series of the Realm of the Elderlings. I'm not going to read you the synopsis on this one because it possibly contains spoilers for the first series, the Farseer trilogy. I am excited to get back into the Realm of the Elderlings, but I will be honest with you, and I realise this is a very unpopular opinion. I really loved the Live Ship Traders. Books 2 and 3, Mad Ship and Ship of Destiny, were 5 stars. Ship of Magic, not quite so much. But when I look back through my ratings, all of the Farseer trilogy were 4 stars. So I'm a little bit nervous to get back in with Fitz because history says that the Fitz trilogies aren't necessarily the ones that I'm like obsessed with, but we will see. And then finally, we have got Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. So this will be book 4 in my Brandon Sanderson along. I've literally yesterday started reading Hero of Ages, so that's also going to roll into April realistically. So I'll have finished the Mistborn Era 1, and I thought I wanted to go and read Elantris next before I move on to the next section. After Elantris, I am going to be starting Stormlight, and I'll be reading the first 2 books in the Stormlight archive because my copies are like part 1 and part 2, so that's 2 books, that's 2 months, you know, it will make sense. So Oh shit. This is how my TBR is now looking. I think I am going to leave it there. I'm not adding anything else on. There will be another book for Book Box Battle, and I will have got a couple of other vlogs that I'm planning on doing throughout the month. But I'd like to try to kind of mood read around that TBR if possible, because that's a lot of pages. There's a lot here. It's a lot. So that's my TBR. If you've read any of these books, let me know what you thought of them. Let me know if you think I'm going to enjoy any of them. Let me know if you would like to see me vlog any of these. If you would just like to let me know that you were here but you don't really have anything to say, leave me some form of magical emoji. Take that to mean what you would like. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.